Hello friends, welcome back today for another video. As you might be guessing already, this is an eyeshadow palette declutter. I kind of mentioned in my last declutter of 2020 that I was thinking about doing this because I've just done my makeup inventory and I just feel like I have too much makeup. I have around, I think it's 240 pieces of makeup, and I feel like that's a lot for me, just where I'm at like in my life. Like I know I can't and won't use all of these things. So my goal today, I think, is to get down to around 25 eyeshadow palettes. I feel like that's far more reasonable for me than 43. So we'll see if I can get there. I don't want to get rid of things just to get rid of things, so that's kind of be a factor. But let me just organize these really quick and then we'll get started. Alright, how I have organized this is mostly by brand, and then this is like a stack of like one-off palettes. So I'm just gonna count them really quick. So actually I have 44 here, which is one more than I had in my inventory. Oh, I guess it must have been a star palette. Oh, I actually have one more palette. So I actually have a second Biba palette. I got it for Christmas, so I'm just gonna stick that in the back. Okay, so right now I have 45 palettes, which I think is a lot. Like, I think all of these are beautiful and nice. Truthfully, I don't use them all, and I'm not going to, so yeah. Let's just see what we can do. So I'm gonna start with Too Faced. It's just like right up here. This is the Pumpkin Spice palette. This palette is relatively new to me. I do like it. I think it is nice quality. So I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. So I'm gonna make a maybe pile that we'll revisit at the end. Alright, this is the Just Peachy Mattes palettes. I think this is a really nice palette, but truthfully, I don't really wear these kinds of tones, like peachy tones. I really can't tell you the last time I reached into this palette. I do think it is beautiful though, which is like the problem. But I never use it, so I don't know. I am going to declutter my gingerbread palette just because it's kind of falling apart. I did really love this palette though. I used it a lot, but I think I'm just going to give it to my niece, just kind of like clean it up and give it to her. She's pretty young, so she's not really going to care. But yeah, so I'm going to declutter this, even though this really hurts me because I really liked this palette. Okay, and then the Chocolate Gold. This is another palette I actually really liked from Too Faced, but I don't really use it anymore. That's interesting. That's kind of like with all of these, I don't really use them anymore. But I do like this palette. Okay, so I'm going to put these both in a maybe pile, and I'll see what else I keep and where I'm at. Gosh, this is not going well already. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna move to my Sigma palettes really quick. This is the Untamed, which I really like this palette a lot. I think it's really pretty. So I'm gonna keep that, and then Corda Rosa. I'm also gonna keep this because I just got these two palettes fairly recently in the last 6 months. Okay, we can move to this like unknown pile, or like random brand pile. Okay, so I know I'm going to be keeping this one, the Supreme Nudes palette. I think this palette is so beautiful. I think it's so well priced. I love the slim packaging. I love using it. It's just stunning all around. So I'm going to keep that one. I'm also going to keep my Pure X Raw Beauty Christy palette because it's just fun. I really like the side. I also really like the packaging. I lived in Seattle for 8 years. We just recently moved, so it just feels really nostalgic to me, and I do really want to keep this. So I'm going to keep that. I'm also going to keep the baby one palette from Lawless. I just got this, and I do really like it. Also going to keep this palette from Nabla. I've been using this so much, especially this shade, Better Society. I think it's so pretty, so I'm gonna keep that one. Then I think I'm going to declutter my Persona palette. I do think it was a really nice palette. It was great for traveling. I just don't see myself really reaching for this. Like, I think I would bring these mini Natasha Denona palettes instead of this palette. So I'm going to declutter this one. And then the Tati Beauty palette. I only bought this at the beginning of last year, and I do really like it, but are there things I like more? Okay, I'm actually going to keep this for now, and then I'll see where we've landed in a little bit. Okay, I'm also going to keep the Naked Honey. I do enjoy this palette, and the Charlotte Tilbury palette. I'm also going to keep this. This is my only Charlotte Tilbury thing, and I do like it. So that's a lot. These mini palettes, I know there are 4 palettes, but I honestly, the Natasha Denona ones, I think I'm just going to count these as one keep, because they're very small. That's pretty much my reasoning. And I probably should not have bought these two, the mini Zendo and the mini Retro, but I did just buy them. So I'm not really ready to get rid of them, but yeah, I'm just gonna count these all as one palette. Oh, please don't hate me. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to Colourpop. I know I still have the silver palette. But, okay, so here's my Colourpop collection. I finally just bought this palette, the So Jaded, which I've wanted for so long. And this is pretty much all the colorful eyeshadow that I will need, because I don't really wear colorful eyeshadow anymore. So I'm going to keep this palette, but that means I'm going to declutter this orange one and this blue one, because as much as I like these, I don't really wear these color eyeshadows, and it just makes me really sad to see them in my drawer every time I open it, which I know is like weird, but like I do think they're very beautiful palettes and very beautiful quality, and they work very well, but it just kind of reminds me of like a time of my life I'm not living anymore. And I just don't think I want them. I'm also going to declutter this palette. I'm not sure what I'm actually going to do with these shadows. These are just like mostly Colourpop shadows from palettes. Most of them have like not even been used. They're just shades I took out of palettes. So, but I like literally never use this. So I might give it to my sister. I might not give it to my sister. I'm not really sure what, but I think I'm also going to declutter the palette with it. But yeah, so that's gonna go. I am gonna keep the Going Coconuts palette for a little while longer. I do like it, so I'm gonna keep that. And then this is my Pleasure palette. I did like redesign this a little bit. I think I'm just gonna get rid of it because I never really wear it, truthfully. Like I'm gonna get rid of that. And then, so this palette I just got recently. I haven't even had the chance to use it, but it's the Child palette. I'm gonna keep this one for now. And then, so this is Sweet Talk. So we have this one, and then the Just Peachy and Nuts, and these palettes are strikingly similar. Like they're very, very similar all around. And I don't really feel like I need both of them anymore because I don't even really wear peachy tones, but I don't know which one to keep. Or if I should even keep either of them. Why is this so hard? I don't know. I'm gonna put these in the maybe pile for the moment. I'm also going to keep the Apple Sight palette. I haven't even used this, but again, it's like, it's just so pretty and it just reminds me of Seattle. So I think like I will keep this like as a sentimental kind of piece of makeup for a very long time. I just think it's so beautiful. So. And then this is the Blowing Smoke palette, which I do think is very gorgeous. Honestly, I think it's stunning, but I just don't wear colors like this ever. So I'm going to declutter this. And then there were 3. So we have the Zodiac palette. I kind of redid. I really like the packaging of this palette though. And then we have the Good Sport palette, which is definitely one of my favorite Colourpop palettes of like all time. I think it's just phenomenal. And this is the Boudoir Noir palette, which I think is okay, but I don't like love it. So I think what I'm gonna do is combine these 2 palettes into this palette. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna keep this as I don't know. Now I'm like, it's like the packaging of this palette a lot. You know, I'm actually just gonna put these in my try and decide pile because I don't really use them, but I like these 2 especially. So yeah, I'm not committing necessarily to keeping any of them, but I don't not want to keep them. So you know what I'm saying? Okay. So this is going really well. Alright, so then I have my Modern Renaissance, which I recently repurchased because they pretty much panned the whole thing. And I love this palette. It's like just a warm-toned dream. This is the Soft Glam. I do like this, but it reminds me heavily of the Bronze palette from Natasha Denona. And I think I do really like this palette. And I wouldn't like not buy it, but I don't need both. You know, like they're just so similar that I don't need them both. So I think I am going to declutter the Soft Glam palette. And then I'm going to keep Sultry for now, although it's kind of been through it. So I don't really think that I'll keep this for much longer, but for now, it's going to be staying. And then I'm going to keep both my Pat McGrath palettes. I have this one, which is so pretty, bronze one, and this is the Midnight Sun one, which I still have in its packaging. And I'm going to keep this one as well, because it's really just everything that I love. So I'm going to keep those. And then I think I'm going to declutter this Ofra palette. I do like this little mini purple palette and the shades in here, but I just not something I really reach for all that much. And if I truthfully wanted purples, there's some in the Pat McGrath palette, and then there are a couple of purple tones in here that I feel like are similar, because like this shade was terrible and I like this shade, but like really it's not, I don't know. Or do I want this? I don't know. Okay. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna put this in my try and decide pile. That pile's growing. But I am gonna keep my bronze palette. I'm also going to keep my Natasha Denona gold palette and my Safari palette. I'm gonna keep my Metropolis. I like this one. This is the big green brown palette, which I'm gonna keep this one as well. And then this is my newest palette, the Star palette, and this is really pretty, so I'm gonna keep this. I'm also gonna keep my new Biba. Probably not gonna count this as like a keeping palette though, and this palette. So I'm basically keeping all my Natasha palettes. Okay, so in my keeping pile, I have 25. So there's 25 because counting this one, these as one. Because they're really small. And I feel like they're basically the equivalent of another palette. I don't know. You can feel free to disagree with me on that, but it's fine. And then I'm officially decluttering 8. These are 8. I am decluttering officially. And then I have 8 in my figure it out pile. So, oh man, it's a little overwhelming, I will say, to look at these, because it's a lot, you know? Alright, so I've taken a little pause and I'm back, and I think I've made a couple more decisions. So I think I am going to declutter this Oprah palette. I mean, I think it's nice and pretty, but it's just nothing special. I have these Pat McGrath palettes. I have other purples. I think I'm actually going to keep the pumpkin spice palette for a little while longer. I don't think it's going to stay in my collection forever, but I'm going to keep this one, and I'm actually going to declutter both of these. I think the Sweet Talk, I think it's nice and pretty, but honestly, pinks are just not a color I reach for, so this does make me sad, but it's time. And then again with this one, I might keep this on the chopping block and just give it another go, or maybe try to make a decision between these two. I don't think they're necessarily particularly anything unique, because like with the Core de Rosa, like there are definitely similarities. So if I did want to go with that kind of look, I have very similar options. So man, for some reason this one just like kind of hurts me. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep this one on the chopping block and then decide. Then the pumpkin spice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that for now. The chocolate gold is just, I really loved this palette. I think it's really beautiful, but I think it's like lived its life with me, and I'm gonna declutter this. And then these 3 palettes, I do need to decide what I'm doing with them. So I probably should not have bought the Boudoir Noir, yeah, palette. But yeah, I'm gonna leave these 4 on the chopping block and decide from there. So as of right now, I feel good about this. I feel pleased with what I have. I am probably gonna keep thinking about the Tati Beauty palette. I don't know if this is gonna live in my collection forever, but we'll see. So as of right now, we have 4 on the chopping block. We're keeping 25. Am I counting this correctly? 25, maybe 26, maybe if I missed one. And then we're decluttering 11. So overall, I feel good about this. I feel like it's getting things out of my collection I don't really use, and kind of just, I don't want to look at my makeup and like hate it. You know what I mean? Like I want to look at it and be excited to use every single thing and not dread it because it's sitting there and I know I don't use it and I'm just trying to be like, well, I would rather use like this palette, but I'm forcing myself to use this one just because I have it, just as an example. So I'll revisit this again probably in a few months and we'll go from there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video and I'd love if you subscribed if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!